𝑬𝒑𝒑𝒉 𝑬𝒄𝒐𝒀𝒐 Podcast. Conversations with the youth on the environment and natural resources, brought to you by the Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau.
All right. Hey everyone, it's John Garcia, ang resident host ng 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉, and you are listening to a very special episode of the 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉 𝒄𝒐𝒀𝒐 Podcast, Conversations with the Youth on the Environment and Natural Resources. For this episode, we'd like to highlight how Filipinos are really making waves around the world. And guys, we are very lucky to have the chance to connect with a strong advocate of the environment from Canada. Yes, we are going international. Well, she's a graduate of the Western University, major in Anthropology and minor in Women's Studies. And given her intelligence, talent, and beauty, she has joined several beauty pageants in the past, including Miss Asia Pacific International 2019, where she won second runner-up, right? And just recently, she was crowned as Miss Earth Canada 2022. Congratulations, Jessica Victoria Cianchino. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, everyone. It is so nice to be here and join this very important discussion. Hello to the viewers from the Philippines, Canada, and all over the world. I'm just very excited for this discussion. And thank you for having me tonight. It's an honor.
Narinig mo na ba ang 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉?
𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉?
Yes, 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉.
Okay.
Ang Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau o 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉 ang main research arm ng DNR na naglalayong bumuo ng mga programa at proyekto para protektahan ang kalikasan through research and development with matching extension services.
Wow, talaga?
That's right! At madami ang 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉 nito.
Saan?
𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉 serves nationwide. Through its research centers, 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉 implements programs and activities that focus on the betterment of the 5 major ecosystems of the Philippines: forests, uplands, grasslands and degraded areas, coastal zone and freshwater, and urban areas and its communities.
May ganun pala. Ang cool!
Ang mensaheng ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Technology Transfer Division ng 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉.
𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉, innovating for sustainable ecosystems. Want to know more about 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉? Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/𝒂𝒑𝒉.gov.ph.
Thank you so much. We'd like to congratulate you for winning Miss Earth. And I just have to say that your win is not just of the Filipinos or the Canadians, but also of Earth. So thank you again. So how have you been? What are you currently working on these days?
Yes, so as you know, being a title holder is a big responsibility. So I've just been trying to keep busy, doing a lot of interviews like this, trying to get involved in my community, and also try to balance my personal life and work as well, along with my pageant journey. It's definitely a busy schedule, but it's worth it.
All right, so just to give you a background, this podcast is actually in celebration of the Philippine Environment Month because we wanted to have an avenue where we could talk about the issues and concerns of the youth with the generation today. And so for the past 4 weeks, we have interviewed youth from different walks of life, like artists, environmental youth organizations, professionals, and youth working in NGO and the government. And now we are happy to have someone, an advocate of women and the environment.
Let's tell you about the landslides and severe flooding that has killed over 90 people in Brazil.
Huwebes noong nakaraang linggo pa nang magsimulang masunog ang bahagi ng kabundukan sa Barangay Ambassador sa Tublay, Benguet.
That an average person is losing around 2.2 years of life expectancy due to air pollution.
One of India's most sacred rivers filled with toxic foam.
Mabilis na umabot hanggang bewang ang baha sa ilang kalsada sa Parañaque City.
The volume of Greenland's ice sheet is growing smaller nearly every year.
Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, is sinking.
Isipin mo, kung araw-araw, ikaw, ako, tayo, makakarinig ng ganyang balita, kakayanin mo bang makarinig pa ng mas malala pa rito? Hindi pa huli ang lahat. Maging mulat na tayo. Huwag magbulag-bulagan. Kilos na!
Ang mensaheng ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Technology Transfer Division ng 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉.
Want to know more about 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒉?
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/erdb.gov.ph.
So tell us about your journey leading to becoming Miss Earth.
Yes, so pageant preparations, it takes a lot. You know, you have to be prepared, mind, body, and soul. The pageant that I competed in was Miss World, and they was given the Miss World title, Miss Earth title, a Miss Intercontinental, Miss Supranational. So I was fortunate enough to earn the title as Miss Earth. And you know, it's a cause that's so close to my heart. Environmental issues are so important now more than ever, and our generation has been doing a lot to advocate for this, but there's still so much work that needs to be done. So, you know, with earning this title, hopefully that I'll be able to play a part in that.
Okay, so my question for you today is something that not everyone knows about. I'm actually was surprised when I first learned about this. So according to the United Nations Environment Program, it is said that environmental challenges have different impacts on men, women, girls, and boys. And it is said that women are more vulnerable to hazardous waste or pollution due to the roles we play at home. It was shown that women and children are 14 times more likely to die than men during a disaster. Wow, right? So there is inequality when it comes to decision making for the environment. So as a graduate of anthropology and minor in women's studies, and also an advocate of the environment, I think there are instances where you observe the inequalities, and how do you think we should address inequality in the environment?
Yes, so like you said, there's definitely, you know, the relationship between nature and humans has inflicted a burden unequally on women specifically. I have seen, you know, in my own personal experiences, but I think this is more prevalent in impoverished communities where women are the first to deal with water, food, and energy production for their families. So they are the first to encounter the results of floods, droughts, high rates of infectious diseases, and other health crises caused by climate change. So although women are more vulnerable to environmental disasters, their perspectives are rarely heard in the decision-making process of climate policies, right?
Yes.
So women really could be the most influential advocates for solution-making in regards to climate change and sustainable development. So this, you know, feminist standpoint in the discussion of environmental sustainability is extremely beneficial. I don't think, like you said, a lot of people see that connection. That's why both feminist criticism and eco-criticism, which is, you know, the study of environment, allows for the contribution of multiple perspectives to be included in this discussion. So this hybrid discipline called ecofeminism, which is, you know, feminism and eco-criticism, addresses the connections and similarities between the domination of both women and nature. So, you know, feminism and environmentalism are fundamentally critical of domination, and ecofeminism criticizes and theorizes about power dynamics. So I think women should be given the opportunity to share their perspectives and be included in the environmental sustainability decision-making process.
Ma, di ba June ang Environment Month?
Tama anak, bakit?
Kasi ang dami ng problema sa kapaligiran ngayon. Gusto ko sana makatulong. Ikaw ma, paano ka ba tumutulong?
Anak, 3 paraan ang ginagawa ko. Refuse, volunteer, at educate. Bukod sa reduce, reuse, at recycle, hindi ako bumibili ng mga bagay na hindi natin kailangan. So, refuse. Nagvo-volunteer din si Mommy sa mga cleanup drive o kung anumang mga activities tungkol sa environmental protection and conservation. Di ba nakikita mo yung pinopost ni Mommy sa Facebook? At ang huli, ibinabahagi ko din ang aking kaalaman sa mga kaibigan ko, katrabaho, at kapamilya. Katulad ng ginagawa ko sa iyo ngayon. Siyempre, pinapalawak din ni Mommy ang aking kaalaman sa pagbabasa at panonood ng mga balita tungkol sa kalikasan.
Yun lang pala kasimple yan, no?
Oo, anak. Kaya ikaw, simulan mo na, ha?
Tandaan, prevention is better than cure. Ang mga simpleng paraang ito ay malaki ang maitutulong sa ating inang kalikasan. Malusog na kalikasan, malusog na mamamayan. Ang mensaheng ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Technology Transfer Division ng ERDB.
Want to know more about ERDB? Follow us on Facebook. facebook.com/erdb.gov.ph.
So nice to hear about eco-feminism. Not all Filipinos know about that. And
yes.
So we should be more included, right? We should be more inclusive, especially when it comes to decision making.
Exactly. And like I said, the criticism of power dynamics. So we live in a very patriarchal society. So that is just the idea that, men, they, for the most part, run society, and they make these decisions, and they're, for the most part, policymakers, right? So ecofeminism just understands that women need to have more, they need to have space in policymaking, and their voices need to be heard, especially in regard to the conversation of environment.
So that's a really nice point of view. That's one way we can address gender inequality, is to include them in the decision-making process. And as Miss Earth Canada, we'd like to know, how do you use this platform in empowering women in becoming active agents of change, especially for the environment?
Yes, I love that word of active agents of change, because we actively have to be advocates, and we actively have to make a difference. So some of the things that I do as Miss Earth Canada is participating in interviews like this, which is why I'm so honored to be here, is I'm able to reach a larger audience and discuss important issues like climate change. And on a large scale, combating climate change may seem like a big deal, and we can write letters and send emails to policymakers, but I want to remind everyone that what you do in your everyday life matters, and you can make a difference, like participating in things like tree planting and city cleanups, or even just making sure that you're recycling correctly at home, or preserving water, or shopping sustainably. So a little can go a long way. And to all the young girls and women watching, you are so powerful, and your words and actions matter.
Wow. You've heard it from Miss Earth Canada, and it's so nice to be able to feel that power, that we can make change, right? And can I just ask, when was the last time you went to the Philippines?
The last time I was in the Philippines was pre-pandemic. So this was for Miss Asia Pacific International in 2019. So this pageant was held in October. So I was so fortunate to be able to, the top 5 runner-ups were able to travel around the Philippines to Palawan, Cebu, Boracay. And I was able to see, the beauty of the earth in the Philippines. There's beautiful beaches and trees, and the landscape is just amazing. So it's just breathtaking. So I'm so fortunate to have been able to see that.
Class, maraming kumakalat na fake news ngayon, at hindi exempted dyan ang pinag-aaralan natin na environment-related issues. Kaya tayong lahat kailangang maging mapanuri.
Paano po, ma'am?
Simulan natin sa pag-follow o pag-subscribe sa mga verified social media accounts kagaya ng DENR at ERDB. Makakasiguro tayo dito na hindi fake news ang mga pinanonood at natututunan natin. Siyempre, hindi ito natatapos sa pagbabasa, pakikinig o panonood lamang. Kailangang makilahok tayo. Alamin natin ang mga programa sa ating kanya-kanyang mga komunidad at sumali tayo dito.
Ma'am, pwede rin po ba kaya kaming makipalitan ng mga ideas at mga nalalaman namin tungkol sa environmental issues at solusyon sa iba pong mga tao?
Pwede, Angie. Maganda nga yan para mas lumawak ang kaalaman ninyo. At syempre, simulan ninyo ito sa inyong mga kaibigan at sa inyong pamilya.
Madali lang pala.
Yes, kayang-kaya niyo yan. Mag-ingat tayo sa fake news.
Maging kritikal sa mga impormasyong nasa iyong harapan. Lamang ang may alam, ngunit mas lamang ang may ginagawa upang mapaunlad ang kalikasan at ang inang bayan. Ang mensaheng ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Technology Transfer Division ng ERDB.
Want to know more about ERDB? Follow us on Facebook. facebook.com/erdb.gov.ph.
And so you have this connection with the Filipinos, right? And your mom is Filipina, right?
Yes.
She speaks Tagalog at home.
They do. It's funny because my mom and my nanay, they speak Tagalog to each other, but they don't speak it to me. So I have to learn how to listen to what they're saying so I can, understand. And that's kind of the incentive of how I'm able to understand.
And Tita Brenda is from Los Baños, right? Is that right?
Yes, Laguna, Los Baños.
Wow. Maybe you could visit here someday soon.
Well, hopefully the Miss Earth pageant is held in the Philippines. I'm praying it's not international and that it's held in person in the Philippines, to be specific. So I have an excuse to revisit and hopefully see you in person. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we'll make sure to watch. We'll ask for tickets from Tita Kat. So, do you have any message for Filipinas or women from around the world of all ages? What is your message to them?
Yes, well, I know it may seem a bit overwhelming coming from me, but everyone starts from somewhere, and great things are done by a series of small things that are brought together. So be faithful in the small things because it is in them that your strength lies. And while it may seem small, the ripple effects of small things are extraordinary. So be bold, be brave, and stand up for what you believe in.
Wow. I myself am empowered by those message, a ripple effect, and we can make a change. Be bold, be brave. So this has been a very, very short interview. Do you have anything else you want to say, Jessica?
I just wanted to say thank you again to all of you here. It was so nice to meet you virtually. Hopefully we can meet in person. And shout out to my mom, my grandma, my nanay who are here. I'm surrounded by, very powerful, inspiring women with me. So I just hope I'm able to radiate that same energy to everyone watching. And God bless, and I hope everyone stays safe. I would also like to say a big thank you to my grandfather, Dr. Felizardo Bertuccio, and Kathy Almeida for connecting us and making this interview happen. It was such an important conversation, and I'm so grateful again.
Thank you so much. This has been 𝒂𝒑𝒉 Eco Youth Podcast, Conversations with the Youth on the Environment and Natural Resources. Maraming salamat, Jessica. See you again soon.
Thank you. Sending love from Canada.
𝒂𝒑𝒉 Eco Youth Podcast, Conversations with the Youth on the Environment and Natural Resources, brought to you by the Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau.